have to hold stuff up so people can see it. I have to kind of remember that as we're going here. Oh, and the light. I always forget the light. Ah, that's better. So, live streaming again. This is what happens when you have extra parts. So you can see there, it's a TRX4 chassis, TRX4 transmission. You can see that there. And yeah, this is a result of spare parts. So I have a TRX4 Sport. I think you guys, if you're a frequent watcher of the channel, you should be familiar with Sport. He's my TRX4 Sport. And he's kind of been around the block. He's had a lot of different parts. Yeah, he's worn some different bodies. He's been some different things throughout his life. But at one point, I got a transmission click in Sport, and I thought there was a problem. So I bought a replacement transmission from Jenny's RC. And if you guys don't know about Jenny's RC, if you like TRX4s, you should know about Jenny's RC, because they buy them. My understanding of what they do is they buy TRX4 Sports and the regular TRX4s new, and they tear them apart and sell the parts, because evidently it's profitable to buy a new TRX4, tear it down into parts, and then resell each part individually, or sets of parts. Like the transmissions, they sell the whole transmission, etc. Right? So that says rear. That says rear. So this has got to be my other front. Yeah. So anyway, it seems like a strange business model, at least to me, but I'm all for it, because you can get cheap TRX4 parts from Jenny's. And that's where I get my GTS shocks. So if I'm putting a set of GTS shocks on something, except for the original set that I got with Sport, they've all come from Jenny's. And these chassis rails and this transmission came from Jenny's as well, because at one point in Sport's life, I had done some modifications to him, and I got a real bad click in his transmission. And I thought that I had broken something. So I jumped onto Jenny's, and I saw that they had some transmissions for the Sports. A lot of times they'll have the transmissions for the full TRX 4s with the 2 speeds and all that stuff, which I'm not really into all that stuff as much. But I saw that they had one. This goes in here too somehow, doesn't it? But do it go like that or do it go like that? It's been a while since I had one of these apart. I don't remember. It's got to go like this, yeah. It's got to go like this. So in your body post hole. Oh, let's look at sport. So these are to the front. So it's like this. Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense because you need to have some room for your servo, I guess. Wonder what length screws we would want there. I don't know. Let's see, we want to go through there into there. I guess I need to get the screw bin over here. I don't have enough room on this bench to do live streams. May have to come up with something. So that's to the front. We just saw on sport. It's going to be pretty long. Let's look at a 16. See what a 16 looks like. Yeah, I'm going to say that's it. Let's see how it tightens down. Oh yeah, I'd say that's it. 16 feels pretty good. But so at any rate, this is a TRX4 Sport transmission that I bought because I thought I had ruined the transmission in my TRX4 Sport. I had a clicking. I thought something came loose or something broke. I just went to Jenny's, and these things are pretty cheap on Jenny's, like $20 or something, right? So I ordered one. When I got it, I took the old one out. I was going to just slap this one in, but I thought, well, let me pull it apart and see if I can figure out what's wrong. And I figured I could take this one apart and, replace whatever parts were broken. There was nothing broken. I shimmed it in a couple places. I read about the fact that sometimes the TRX4 Sport transmissions over a long period of time, they just kind of develop this click. So I shimmed it in a bunch of places, eliminated the click, greased it all back up, put it all back together, slapped it back into sport, and he's still running it to this day. I haven't touched it since. It's been flawless. So I had a TRX4 Sport transmission just sitting here. And then I saw on, I don't remember if it was eBay or Etsy, but I found this flat skid for the TRX4 Sport, and it comes with this motor mount as well. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I'm not sure I want to do that to Sport because he's already got the Bauhaus LCG kind of carbon, or it's printed as well, I think, plastic skid, and it works well. It works great. I've never had a problem with it. So I thought, I don't know that I want to do it to Sport, but I do have that other transmission just sitting there. And that's the problem with spare parts. That's the problem with extra stuff, right? Because extra stuff ends up becoming another rig. At least in my case, it does. So, so I mounted the transmission to the skid, put the motor mount on it, and I thought, I've got some, which is going to be another problem. I've got some carbon fiber rails that I got off of Amazon. They're just like, I don't know, some no-name carbon fiber LCG 10 scale rails, right? And I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I thought about trying to put this on them, and then I thought, well, this is all made for the TRX4 chassis, and I know about Jenny's, so why don't I just order some chassis rails from Jenny's? So I did, and they were like $15 or something. It's Jenny's is a problem. When you have spare parts for Traxxas vehicles, Jenny's is a problem because you can just build another one pretty cheaply. So that's what this is. This is a, I don't know, ridiculous. Um, so these are Sport's original shock towers. That's his original body mount. Um, these are as well. So these are what Sport came with because a TRX4 Sport comes with these. It doesn't come with the full inner fenders, right? Sport now has full inner fenders, the narrow versions. So, but I've got parts. I've got a bunch of parts. I've got bumper mounts. You know, so those are that's Sport's original bumper mount, his rear bumper mount. This is a metal front bumper mount that I used for a time on him and then took off, and then I've got a flat one here, 3D printed thing that I bought. Sport actually runs one just like that because I got two of them at the time. So um, I don't know what I'm going to do here in the back because I don't have the rear spacer that comes with the TRX4 Sport. I thought about and I didn't, but I should have bought the plastics. From Jenny's, you can buy just a plastic set for a TRX4 as well. And I should have done that because then I would have the inner bracing that I need back here. I can just put some braces back here. Like I could throw these on in their correct position, and I could throw some spacers in that spot, assuming I have some that are the right length, which I probably do, but I may not. I'd have to look into that a little bit. What would the spacing be? It would be 68. Yeah, I don't think I have spacers of that width. So I would have to come up with, I'm going to have to come up with something in the back here. I could just throw a chunk of Delrin in there. That's pretty easy. Chunk of Delrin, the same width as these. Put those guys right there or wherever they go. I think it's right there. May or may not be right there. It's definitely not right there. Where is it? Where do they go? Right there. So I could throw these guys on. Chunk of Delrin. Let's see about the. I've got a chunk of Delrin. I've got several. I think I've got one fairly close here. Way too big. Oh yeah. There's a little. There's some gap there though. I'd like that to be tighter than that. This is my big chunk, and it's quite a bit too thick. Well, I might need to come up with something there. So that would sit like that, and then like that. I really don't know how this goes because Sport doesn't have one of these in the back anymore. It goes like this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure. So, I mean, that would work. And we can come up with another body mounting solution. That's not a problem. Body mounts can be made. But we do need to come up with something to brace this span in the back. Now we'll have a bumper, right? So that's a brace. But I think we need more than that. Right. So this guy would go in there. Come on, buddy. So this guy would go something like that. And that would be, it stiffens it up quite a bit, but still right here, we've got some flex, more flex than I want. We need something either here or in between the shock. And they should be in between the shock towers because that's where you're going to get a lot of pushing from your suspension, and it's going to try to rock those rails, try to twist those rails in. So how wide is this? Because this is wider than what I measured. So this is like 70. So it needs to be stretched out a little bit. Yeah. So like 71, 72. 72. So a chunk of Delrin would be great. A chunk of Delrin would be fantastic. The problem is the thin's too thin and the thick is too thick. Because if we thread it, I mean, you could make that work. You could make that work. I think you could make that work. How wide? How wide would we want it? Hole there and a hole there. I don't know that we want it up that far though. I think we want it the same width as the shock towers. But then are we going to want a plate? Are we going to want somewhere to mount? I don't know. I mean, we're going to have some sliders of some sort, I'm guessing. Man, you could just there's a nice big flat spot right there. What are we going to do with this truck? I don't know. It's not going to be a competition rock crawler because it's on a TRX4 chassis, right? Like there are much better chassis for that. So what are we going to do with it? I don't know. Why are we even building it? Because we had some parts. Do I want a big area to mount things on? Or am I going to end up making a big area since it's a big flat and have nothing to put there and end up having to carve it up so that we can get links to move and things like that? That's probably what will happen. Let's go from there to there. Let's call it 70. Let's make it a square. 72 by 72. That's simple enough, right? Why don't we do that? 72 by 72 sounds doable. Sounds doable to me. 72. Let's see. I need a pencil is what I need. Here we go. Let's get our square while we're at it. 72 is there. And 72, my mark is there. So let's see if we can run that. Yeah, you can see it. Well, I'd like for there to be a better mark than that, though. This light thing is kind of killing me. So I think we can make that happen. I mean, we're not going to do it right now. It would be far too loud. But yeah, I think that's I think that has just become the plan. So let's see, how close are we to this guy's width? Yeah, so we're right there. Measuring this way. Yeah, right there. So if I cut that square, I'll be able to put it right there. And then I will mark through the holes with a center punch so that I can drill and tap. 1, 2, 3. So I get 3 of them. There's one here in the middle. I'm not sure what that's for. I'm not sure that's necessary. Probably punch them all, though. Probably punch them all and tap them all. That way, once it's in there, if I need to thread something into it, I can, rather than needing to take the whole thing back apart, right? So probably do 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side. Drill them, tap them, M3, and then that can be our rear brace. Then we can get this guy on there if we want to do that. I mean, I think it'll probably be fine. Maybe do a spacer there so we can run a screw and we can bolt it actually to this. That might stiffen things up. We might not need it. I don't know. But that would be an option. Then it's going to come to links. So the rear upper links, where are they going to fall? Are we going to have interference? Are we going to have to cut some notches or something into this? Maybe. But that's for later me to worry about. So I think that's kind of our next step. So this is the front mount that came out of Sport, actually. So that's part of his deal too. So this would be chassis mounted steering. If we continue down this same path that we're on currently, but I don't know. I don't know if we will or not. So 4-link would be much easier because chassis mounted steering is a pain to get the pan hard and everything right. But it's a TRX4 chassis. It's a TRX4 pan hard mount. All the stuff is TRX4 Sport or TRX4. I guess they're the same in that regard. So if I use TRX4 links all the way around, one would think that the geometry would be the same. And TRX4 Sport and TRX4, their geometry is right. So their chassis mounted steering, their pan hard is correct and it works. And this is plastic, yeah, but I've not broken one yet. So if I could just get it to be a TRX4 in the front, I would be pretty happy. The problem is I'm not going to use TRX4 axles. I'm going to be using probably Mias, probably some Mias axles. I don't know if I'll do their kind of that cheapest nylon portal that they offer for like, I don't know, $70 or $80. That's probably what I would do. Maybe some straights. I don't know. But it's not going to be TRX4 axles, which means the pan hard mount on the axle is not going to be, in all likelihood, where it would be on a TRX4 axle. So, yikes. I've got a bunch of TRX4 axle parts too. I don't have full axles, but I've got a lot of parts. So then maybe you put TRX4 and then I'm just building another TRX4 Sport, right? With a flat scale. I mean, I guess that would be cool. That would be the difference. But I'd rather do other axles. I'd rather do some Mias axles. So I don't know. I don't know if the geometry will be right or not. It's interesting. Well, this is a totally spare parts build. This is going to be a build it as it comes, as things are available. But I think this is maybe the guy I'll bring out. You'll probably see him on live streams, and we'll just kind of putter around and see what we can get going with this build. I'll have to accumulate some more parts. But anyway, this is, I don't know, Frankenstein. This is going to be a piece together, build it as you can kind of a thing. And I'm not in any hurry. It's not going to be a build that you see on the regular channel at all. This is going to be a live stream kind of, messing around. Give me something to keep my hands busy during these live streams. Let's see. We'll just see where it goes. I mean, maybe he becomes a rig. Maybe he never becomes a rig. Maybe he, is pieced together over the course of a very long time. Maybe we get excited about him at some point and really put some effort in and get him built faster. Maybe he never gets finished. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Well, it looks like no one joined. And we've been going. I've been on for about a half an hour now. So that's all right. I get it. It's a very small channel. Everybody's busy. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. There's a lot of really good channels that do live streams about this time of the evening. So I totally get it. If you watch this on the replay, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.